Why is understanding genres so important?
Genre is really the key to understanding screenwriting today. And it comes from what I call the first rule of Hollywood, which is that Hollywood doesn't buy and sell movie stars, directors, or writers. It buys and sells genres. Now, genres are story forms. And more importantly, they are the all-stars of the story world. They are story forms that have been told over decades, centuries, and in some cases, like with myth, thousands of years. So they've already been worked out. And they've been worked out very, very great detail. And they know exactly how their characters work. They know what their themes are. They know how the plot is going to work and so on. So it's very, very tight. Now, in order to sell to a worldwide audience, you have to use these different genres because this is what the audience is really buying. When an audience goes to see one of the big summer blockbuster films, they may not know it in their head, oh, that's a myth-based film, or that's an action film, or a combination of the two, but they know what they like. And that's what's underneath each one of those stories. Avengers, Dark Knight, so on. These are all just basic story forms, basic genres with a unique skin placed on top. So it's very important, first of all, for the writer to understand what genres they are working in. It's also very important for them to understand how to combine their genres, because almost every film that gets made now is not a single genre. That was decades ago. Now, almost every film that gets made, not just in Hollywood, but in worldwide cinema, is a combination of 2, 3, and sometimes 4 genres. Now, a lot of writers know this. What they don't know, they usually don't know, is that combining genres is very difficult, because each genre has its own hero, its own opponent, its own desire line, theme, and so on. So when you start combining these, typically you end up with chaos. You end up with so many story elements that are unconnected that the script doesn't work. So it's very important to understand how to put these genres together. One final point about this. When a writer is developing a story idea, right at the beginning of the writing process, they come up against the biggest decision that they will have to make, which is, what genre is this story? The biggest reason that writers fail at the premise, and by the way, 99% of scripts fail at the premise line, right at the very first decision in the writing process. The biggest reason it fails is not that it wasn't a good idea, it's that they used the wrong genre to develop the idea.